ready to start our 4-H sheep showmanship show in the show ring shortly. Please make sure your sheep are slick-shorn before the show. Any other S words that I'm allowed to say on Sunday? The yellow programs are around the ring in the lovely clear bins. If you are planning to show this evening, please double check and make sure you are in the correct class. Remember that your 4-H age is your age as of January 1st, 2022. If you do not believe you are in the correct class, or if you are missing completely, please come let us know. And we will start shortly with our 18-year-olds and work all the way down through our 8-year-old juniors. All right, we are ready to rock and roll. So, if we could have Class 1, 18-year-old seniors to ringside for check-in. Class 1, 18-year-old seniors to ringside.
Congratulations to the young man out here in our first class. You know, it's a big challenge to come out for showmanship, being first in the ring and not only the only one in your class. So I commend him for that. You know, he does a really good job with maintaining eye contact and ring awareness, knowing where I'm at in the ring. A couple things you could improve on. When you're walking your lamb, try to keep that hand that you have behind his head maybe down lower at the base of his neck. Yeah, kind of like that. Or even if he'll let you take it off, you know, do that. And something that I'm just very picky on, in showmanship, I like to see the showman actually reach down and set all 4 feet. In a market lamb class, I'm way cool if you just brace them into position and then go from there. But I like to see in showmanship you actually work and set feet. It's just a little extra detail, but very good job, great eye contact. Congratulations.
Now entering the ring is Class 2, 17-year-old seniors. Results for Class 1, 18-year-olds. The award is donated by the Dayton 4-H Club. First place goes to Eddie Johnson. Now in the ring is Class 2, 17-year-old seniors. Class 3, 16-year-olds may come to ringside. Class 3, 16-year-old seniors to ringside at this time.
The young lady that's going to win this class, I think, does a really, really good job with her ring awareness, her eye contact. Every time I was on the opposite side of the lamb, she'd make sure she'd switch so that that lamb was always between her and I really appreciate that. A couple things going forward, your lamb kind of wants to keep backing up on you, and that can be a little bit of an issue at times. One thing I try to do is set his feet with your hands. He might like that a little bit better, I don't know. But just be patient with him. I know it can be hard to handle a lamb like that. The young lady that comes in second, I think she does a really nice job with her eye contact and ring awareness as well. And you know, her lamb's kind of being a little bit of a handful out here, and he's certainly a big one for her to hold on to. But I really appreciate just how genuine you are and happy you are, and how calm you remained, even when he gives you a little bit of a hard time. What separates you from the young lady in first, you know, a lot of it's feet placement. Sometimes your weather will want to kick out a back leg or something, and then he won't be set quite right. So just kind of try to be a little bit more aware of when he has those slight little flinches in his body. I know they can be hard to pick up at times, but very good job. Congratulations. the young men that come that are going to round out this class, I think it's really close, and I think they both do a really good job of being ring aware and knowing where I'm at in the ring. But to me, the difference between the young man in third and fourth is the young man in third, his weather's just being a little bit more cooperative today, and I know that's a shame because I've been on the other end where the young man in fourth is when you have a partner that just doesn't want to cooperate, but sometimes that's just the name of the game. The young man in third, you know, I really like your ring awareness. Every now and then when I walk in front, you won't pull your body off of your weather, so make sure you try to do that when I get in front. But I like how you get your lamb set up. Every now he wants to push back like he's doing just a little bit. So I try to move his front feet back a little bit. He's just a little stretched the way he is, but really good job at making sure you know where I'm at in the ring. And the young man in fourth, I really commend you for your poise because your weather is certainly being a handful out here, and it's hot and he's tired, and I'm sure you're getting tired as well. You're welcome. But you just do an awesome job with keeping calm under pressure. It's just your teammate didn't want to cooperate today, but very good job.
Now entering the ring is Class 3, 16-year-old seniors. Results for Class 2 are 17-year-olds. The award is sponsored by Mr. and Mrs. Donald B. Sealing. First place, Riley Trotman. Second place, Brittany Morris. Third place, Ryan Peak. Fourth place, Wyatt Carter. Now in the ring. Now in the ring is Class 3, 16-year-olds. Class 4, 15-year-olds may come to ringside.
That might be what it is, because for showmanship it's all, yeah. I don't think I finished saying it. So I need to put the kids in the great college. That's how they can do. right again, and then back on again. Mine did that too.
Hello? There we go. All right, the young lady that I'm going to start off with the class, I think she's done a lot of work with this lamb at home, and it's very evident. You know, the bond they have, the connection they have. He knows what she wants him to do at all times, and I really appreciate that. Additionally, her eye contact and knowing where I am at all times is extremely, extremely good. That lamb was never on the other side of her and I. He was always in between the two of us. Very good job. Congratulations. The young lady that comes in second, you know, I think it gets close between her and the young man in third, and mainly just because her weather wants to be a little uncooperative and act up at times. I think you do a really good job of remaining calm and remaining poised when maybe he wants to back up on you or maybe he wants to do a little jump. But I think you do a really good job of your ring awareness and knowing where I'm at in the ring. A couple things I'd like to see, sometimes you just push him into position and he'd get a back leg kind of crazy out on you. Maybe just reach down and reset that leg instead of just trying to push him back into it. But very good job, and very good job at staying poised. The young man that comes in third, he is just calm, cool, and collected at all times. You know, there were a couple times his weather wanted to get a little feisty and wanted to act up a little, but he never let that show. And I really appreciate that. The big difference that probably sets you between the young lady in second, when you pick up your lamb and prop him up like that, he kind of wants to throw that front leg out and then he'll throw his back leg out a little bit. Just reach down and fix those to make sure he's square on both the front and the back. But very good job at remaining calm and collected. The young man that comes in fourth, I think he does a really good job of making sure you have eye contact with me and knowing where I am. At times, you maybe didn't switch quite right when I was on the opposite side of the lamb, and maybe you didn't get quite off in front of him like I'd like to see. But you do a really good job of knowing where I'm at in the ring and making sure you have that eye contact. One thing I'd really like to commend you on is you always made sure you had plenty of room between yourself and the exhibitor in front of you, which is super, super important for me. There's nothing worse than getting stuck in a tight corner, so very good job at that. The last two young ladies that are going to round out this class, I think they both do a really good job of remaining poised, even under a little pressure when their animals maybe aren't active. Hey, we're back on. Good deal. All right, where was I? The young lady that I'm going to use, I think she does a really good job of maintaining eye contact and still being poised and not getting worked up when you wants to get a little bit more worked up. One thing I'd really like to see you do and work on is she doesn't really like to be braced very much, so definitely reach down and try to set those feet. I think that helps a lot with ewes or wethers that are a little bit more fidgety. It helps keep those feet in the right spot. And the young lady that's going to round out the class, I think she certainly did a really good job with eye contact. A couple little things. When you're walking your lamb, try to make sure his head's at a 90-degree angle, the head and neck. Sometimes he wanted to get a little bit forward, and that ruins the balance that he has. But just try to make sure the head and neck's at a 90 degrees, but very good job on eye contact and ring awareness. Congrats.
Now entering the ring is Class 4, 15-year-old seniors. Results for Class 3, 16-year-olds. This award is also sponsored by Mr. and Mrs. Sealing. First place, Kylie Bingham. Second place, Taryn Schwartz. Third place, Cody Trotman. Fourth place, Eric Roth. Fifth place, Samantha Skelly. Sixth place, Kaylin Walker. Now entering the ring is Class 4, 15-year-olds. Class 5, 14-year-olds may come to ringside.
Class 5, 14-year-olds to ringside for check-in.
Tap it off and then back on, but shouldn't have to.
lady that I'm going to start here with the ewe lamb, you know, I think she does a really good job of remaining calm and being poised. You know, she has an interesting challenge of not just showing a ewe lamb, but a breeding ewe at that. So that can always be a little bit of an extra challenge. But I really like the way you hold that lamb's head and neck, and you always make sure it's at a 90-degree angle. And I really appreciated when we lined up over here, you reached down and set all 4 feet. That's something I really look for in showmanship. So very good job, congratulations. The young lady that's in second, she certainly has a challenge on her hand. You know, that is one of the smallest lambs I've seen out here today by far. So it's challenging just to show one that small, but you do a very good job of knowing where I'm at in the ring, and you're super intense, and I can tell your drive. You just might not want to cooperate the most right now. A couple little pointers. Right now, you know, she's kind of pulling back on you, and I can tell she's dropping her head. Good catch. You know, she's pulling back on you a little bit now, wanting to drop her head. So when she does that, maybe just relax up on her a little bit and give her a little bit more space. I'd rather see you try to touch her dock to push her forward than just keep yanking her head forward. And I know one like that's very hard to brace, especially when you're a lot bigger than she is. I'd try to stand up and brace like you did when you were along the fence here. You know, initially you were down on your knee. I don't know which looks more or less awkward. I know it's tough either way, but very good job handling a very small ewe. The young lady that's going to round out the class, I think she does a very good job with remaining eye contact, and she always has a big smile on her face, which I really appreciate. This weather, he just wants to get a little fidgety on you, and he doesn't necessarily want to stand still. One thing I'd like to see you do is when I was on the other side up there, make sure you switch the side that you're on so the lamb's always in between the two of us. But very good job at remaining calm and staying poised when your animal's maybe not the most cooperative.
Now entering the ring will be Class 5, 14-year-olds. Results for Class 4, 15-year-olds. The award is sponsored by Southern States and Mount Airy. First place, Jacqueline Yencha. Second place, Caitlin Spicer. Third place, Charlotte King. Now in the ring, Class 5, 14-year-olds. Class 6, first-year seniors may come to ringside.
Class 6, first-year seniors to ringside.
All right, and then for champions, spots winner. Now, reserve, we bring the Thank you, Millie. Look, you just add jobs to your list.
Okay, I take that back. We'll wait till that.
You probably won't be back by then.
And they'll say, look, Lisa.
Tell him his little girlfriend needs to see you. I guess his old girlfriend. I don't even know if they're still together. I think they're getting married.
Back in business, all right. The young lady that's going to start out the class here, I think she does a really good job getting the slam set up. I really appreciate how you intentionally went and touched all 4 feet each time you set them up. That's something I'm really looking Hello? What?
It doesn't work like this. It works like that.
And I really appreciate how you intentionally set all 4 feet. Every now and then that weather wants to get a little easy in his top. Make sure you keep that belly up in him. Just like that, yep. And I really like the eye contact and the intensity you have out here. Congratulations, very nice job. The young man that comes in second, you know, I think he does a really good job of getting his weather set up. Every now and then he'll want to kick a back leg out just a little bit. So just keep an eye on that. One of the biggest things I think you could work on going forward is your spacing throughout the ring. Sometimes you wanted to get a little bit close to the person in front of you or behind you. Just make sure you give yourself plenty of space. And when I was off to the side up there, make sure you switch sides so that the animal's always in between the two of us. I never want to, it's always a lamb sandwich. I never want to have the lamb on the opposite end of you. So very good job. The young man that comes in third, I really like his tie, and I told him that. I think it's a neat touch. I really like your eye contact, and you're definitely driven and very focused out here, and I really appreciate that. A couple things you could work on. Your lamb wants to get his top up in himself every now and then, so just make sure you keep that down a little bit. And then I know she wants to be a little feisty out here, but sometimes she wants to kick a back leg out. So just make sure you reach down, grab that, and reset that. But very good job on eye contact and ring awareness. The young man here next, you know, he's one that is very aware of where I'm at in the ring, and he does a really nice job of trying to reach down and set those feet. Now, his weather doesn't necessarily like him to touch his feet, and that's sometimes not a lot you can do about that. For me, I'd like to see you allow a little bit more spacing between the exhibitor in front of you. There was one point in time where you guys got a little bunched up there, so if you give yourself enough spacing, hopefully you can avoid that issue. But very good job at knowing where I am at in the ring. And the young lady that's going to round out this class, you know, I think she does a really nice job of holding that lamb's head and neck at a good 90-degree angle. And you do a really good job with eye contact, and I can tell your intensity. A couple things to work on, and a lot of this is some at-home stuff. Your lamb wants to get a little stretched out from time to time, so make sure you know how your animal best looks, and make sure you don't allow that back leg to get too far out. And then when I was off to the other side up there, you didn't switch sides, so the lamb was on the opposite side of you, so I didn't have a direct line. So just make sure you know where I'm at in the ring and always can switch back and forth from sides, but very nice job.
Now entering the ring is Class 6, first-year seniors. Results for Class 5, 14-year-olds. This award is sponsored by Southern States Mount Airy. First place, Courtney Spicer. Second place, Liam Hartner. Third place, Duncan Bell. Fourth place, Ben Carter. Fifth place, Eden Clemmer. Now entering the ring is Class 6, first-year seniors. Following this, we would need all of our first place and second place senior class winners for the selection of our senior champion and reserve champion showmen. All first and second place senior class winners to ringside.
job.
I should have betted money on that one.
Just a single entry out here, but I think the young lady does a really nice job with eye contact and remaining calm because her weather definitely does not like to walk a whole lot. I really appreciate how you reach down and touch every single one of those legs. You know, for your weather not wanting to walk, you did a really good job of remaining calm. Maybe next time, if he doesn't like that, he didn't like his go button being touched too much, so maybe try to hit him on the side, see if that'll get him to go forward a little bit. But very nice job on getting him set, and when he settled in and walked, you did a really nice job with him. Congratulations.
Results for Class 6, first-year seniors. The award is sponsored by West Friendship 4-H Club. First place goes to Blair Heath. Now in the ring, we need all of our first and second place senior class winners for the selection of our Hello? Okay, now we're working again. We need all of our first and second place senior class winners for the selection of our champions.
It doesn't matter how I hold. He was still there, but who knows where he went.
Well, I think all these seniors have done a really good job out here today. I know it's a little hot and the sheep are probably getting tired, but congratulations for all making it out here to the final drive. I'll be honest, showmanship is my least favorite thing to judge. I know how to be a good showman. I know how to teach people to be a good showman, but I do not like being critical on other people. So I'd much rather sort stock than have to sort these kids out here. But I think it's a really good group, and there's a couple that really stick out in my mind. And I'll just kind of tell you what I'm thinking when I look for a good showman, especially in showmanship for market lambs. Like I've made a point to say several times throughout the evening, I like to see people reach down and set all 4 feet every single time. I think it just shows how well you've worked with your lamb at home. I think it shows a little bit extra dedication and perfection to what you're doing. You know, the other thing too that's really important to me is making sure you're always on the right side of that lamb, regardless of where I'm at in the ring. I always want that lamb to be in between the exhibitor and myself, regardless if you're walking, you're standing. And when I walk in front, I like to see everyone get off their lambs and hold their head back, so that way I can get a good chest view. You know, in my mind, there's probably a couple exhibitors that stick out here amongst the group. And, you know, I talked them in their classes, so I'm not going to waste a lot of time. But the young lady directly in front of me, she's going to be the champion. Congratulations. After that, it probably gets a little bit closer in my mind, and I'll just tell you the two exhibitors it comes down to for me would be the young lady out of the class that our division winner came out of and the young lady out of the second to last class here. I'll kind of tell you what I'm seeing. The young lady in the class directly in front of me, I think you do a really good job with eye contact and getting your lamb set up. I really appreciate how you touch each of those feet. A couple things, sometimes your lamb wants to get a little bit higher in his top. Make sure you keep that top down in him. And every now and then in your class, maybe you weren't always on the right side when I came around, especially when I was standing up here and had you guys walk around. But you're definitely dedicated to that lamb. The young lady here out of the second to last class, you're surely intense and you've got a lot of drive, and I can really appreciate that. Like I said in your class, I really appreciate how you reach down and touch all four of those feet. That's super important. And you know, I mentioned before your lamb wants to get a little bit lazy in his top, but I think out here the second time you've done a much better job keeping his top up in him. You know, for me, it probably gets really close between the two young ladies, and both of their weathers are wanting to be a little fidgety at the moment. But in my mind, I think the young lady who has a little bit more drive and a little bit more ring presence today is going to be your reserve. Congratulations.
Hello. Oh, it works. Okay. Our senior champion showman is Miss Kylie Bingham, and reserve senior champion showman is Courtney Spicer. Congratulations, ladies. We will now move on to our intermediate division with Class 9 13-year-old intermediates. You may come into the ring. Class 9 13-year-olds into the ring.
Yeah, I hope not any longer. But tomorrow will be the long
Now in the ring is Class 9 13-year-olds. Class 10 12-year-olds may bring their lambs to ringside.
Class 10, 12-year-olds to ringside for check-in.
There we go. All right, you know, I think it gets close between these two young men here, and if you wanted to switch it the other way, I'd be totally fine with that. So the young man that I'm going to use to start out with, I think he does a really nice job handling that Weathers head and neck, especially when on the move. I appreciate how relaxed you are, how you keep it at a 90-degree angle. And I really appreciate how calm you are with them. And between the two of you, you probably reach down more frequently to set feet, which I like to see. Now, when I did get off on the other side, you weren't as quick to switch sides, which is something, you know, going forward to keep working on. You know, make sure if I step on the other side, you switch sides so that I always have the best view of your animal. But I think just in terms of how you handle that lamb on the move is probably where you have the edge. Now, the young man that's going to come in second, you know, this has nothing to do with showmanship, but every time I talk to him, he said, "Ma'am," and I think America needs a lot more of that. So I really appreciate that. But for you, I think you do a really good job of being ring aware and knowing where I'm at in the ring up there. You switched and you got off of his head so I could have a good chest view. For your weather right now, he's being a little ornery, so just make sure you try to reach down and set those feet, because sometimes he wanted to throw his back leg out a little bit farther or throw his front foot up farther. But very nice job. Congratulations.
Now entering the ring is Class 10, 12-year-olds. Results for Class 9, 13-year-olds. This award is sponsored by Malnex Bus Service. First place, Hayden Harrison. Second place, Hayden Brendel. Now entering the ring is Class 10, 12-year-olds. Class 11, 11-year-olds to ringside.
Class 11, 11-year-olds to ringside.
A really good class here, and I think both young ladies come out with a tremendous amount of drive and ring awareness. And at one point, when I had them up here and was walking around them, they were pretty much mirror images of each other in terms of when they switched sides, and I couldn't really tell who was who at that time. So I think that's awesome, especially for your age, to be that ring aware and know when you're supposed to switch like that. The young lady that I'm going to use to start the class, I think you've put a lot of time in at home with this weather, and that's very evident here. When I got my hands on him every time, I got a good brace out of him. And just the way you set him up, he's being a little fidgety now, but I really appreciate when you grab down and touch each of those feet. That's a huge deal for me. Now, when you get him on the move, you don't necessarily have his head and neck at a 90-degree angle. It's a little bit further out in front. Maybe work on that and try to keep that closer to a 90-degree angle, but very nice job. The young lady that's going to come in second, she's one that I prefer how she handles her Weathers head and neck on the move and keeps it closer to a 90-degree angle. And like I said, your drive and your ring awareness is awesome. A couple things to work on. Sometimes your Weather wants to throw out a back foot every now and then. Just make sure you reach down and set those feet, but very nice job.
Now entering the ring is Class 11, 11-year-olds. Results for Class 10 12-year-olds. The award is sponsored by the Tommy Malnick's family. First place, Addison Ridgely. Second place, Haley Evans. Now coming into the ring is Class 11. Class 12, first-year intermediates, please come to ringside.
Class 12, first year intermediates to ringside.
We would like to take a moment and welcome our judge for this evening, Miss Caitlin Bell. She grew up in Nottingham, Pennsylvania on her family's cow and calf farm, B&R Angus. Growing up, she was very involved in 4-H and exhibited cattle, sheep, hogs, and goats. She is an active member in the National Junior Angus Association, the Pennsylvania Junior Angus Association, and has placed in the top 15 in showmanship at the NJAS, as well as having shown multiple-time champion bulls along the East Coast and Supreme Bull and Heifers at the Pennsylvania Farm Show. She was a member of the Chester County Livestock Judging Team, which won the state contest in 2016 and was third place overall at the national contest in Louisville that year. In 2017, she traveled to Scotland and Ireland to judge in the International 4-H Judging Contest, where she won reasons. She attended Kansas State University and majored in agriculture business and minored in animal sciences. She was a member of the Block and Bridle, the 2020 Meat Judging Team, 2021 National Champion Meat Animal Evaluation Team, and 2021 Livestock Judging Team. Currently, she is a coach for the Chester County 4-H Judging Team and works at First Citizens Community Bank as an agriculture lender. Let's give Caitlin Bell a round of applause to thank her for coming to judge our show this evening.
I think it's a really impressive pair of young ladies to start out this class. You know, I believe this is the 11-year-old age division, but they both can compete with the seniors in my book. The young lady with the ewe here that I'm going to use to start off the class, you know, she's showing her as a breeding ewe, which is completely fine, but the way you know where I'm at in the ring, and you're so good and so smooth on your transitions. I love how you get off to the front of that ewe and always keep her head and neck at a 90-degree angle even when you're walking her. That's awesome. A couple little things I would say sometimes, like right now, she wants to get a little long, maybe pick up her belly a little bit just to level her out a little bit, but extremely good job. And another thing I meant to say, when I went to handle her, even though she's a breeding ewe, I still got a really good brace out of her. I really appreciate that. The young lady that's in second, like I said, I think it's really close between the two. You do an awesome job with your transitions and your ring awareness, knowing where I'm at all time. You're so driven and you're so intense, and I really appreciate that. And you know, you reach down to set your ewe's feet, which are awesome. The biggest thing that probably separates the two of you is on the move. Your U wants to drop her head and neck a little bit, try to keep that closer to a 90-degree angle, but when you have her set up, you have her set up and looking good. Congratulations to both of you. The young men that are at the bottom of the class, you know, I think they're both really close, and if you wanted to switch it, I wouldn't argue with you either. But the young man with the tie that I'm gonna go and use in third, you know, I think he was just a little bit smoother on his transitions, especially when he got off the front of his weather. He was probably a little bit more ring aware. Now, right now, your U's feet, her back legs need, or your weather's back legs need to be set up a little bit differently. So just try to make sure if he moves, you know where those feet need to go and when he does that. But very good job with your eye contact. And the young man with his big U that's going to round out the class, I give him a lot of, you know, applause because he has a ruptured Achilles. Is that what it is? A ruptured Achilles? Yeah, a ruptured Achilles tendon. I would not be out here showing if I had a ruptured Achilles tendon. I probably couldn't even walk. So that's an awesome accomplishment to be out here with that. Your U wants to get a little bit ahead of herself at sometimes and drag you a little bit. And I know it's probably really tough with that boot on your foot to keep up with her. But maybe just cock her head up towards the sky a little bit to get her to slow down when she wants to run. But very nice job of knowing where I'm at in the ring and getting your U set up even with your boot on. Congratulations to all four of you.
Now entering the ring is Class 12, first year intermediates. Results for Class 11, 11-year-old intermediates. This class's award is sponsored by Triple B Angus. First place, Allison Rolls. Second place, Anna Campanari. Third place, John Bell. Fourth place, Charlie Brendel. Now entering the ring is Class 12, our first year intermediates. Following this for Class 13, we need all of our first and second place intermediate class winners for the selection of the intermediate champions. All first and second place intermediate class winners to ringside.
The young lady that's going to go ahead and start out this class, she's definitely put in her time at home, and it's very evident out here. I really like how she reaches down to set all 4 feet. You know, every now and then, like right now, he wants to be a little overstretched in the front. So maybe bring those front legs back a little bit, but you do a really good job, especially when your weather's on the move. The head, the neck, how level he remains out of his top. You do a very good job at controlling his speed to make sure he looks his best. On top of that, you're super, super good with your eye contact. Very intense, very nice job. The young lady in the cowgirl hat here that's gonna come in second, you know, I think she does a really nice job with eye contact and knowing where I'm at in the ring. There's a couple times where maybe you were a little bit slower to switch from side to side, and sometimes your U wants to be a little bit of a U and she wants to stretch out a little bit, but make sure you try to bring those back feet in. But I do really appreciate how you still reached down and touched all those back feet. Congratulations.
Results for Class 12, first year intermediates. This award is sponsored by the Boswell family. First place, Jaden Mantua. Second place, Jalen Velasek. Now in the ring will be all of our first and second place intermediate showmen for the selection of our intermediate champions. Following this, we will begin our junior division with our 10-year-old juniors. As we go into our junior division, just a reminder that all 8-year-olds will be in the 8-year-old class, and any other first-year juniors will be in class 18 that are 9 and 10-year-old.
I think this is a really good lineup of intermediate showmen, and in my experience in showing, it seems that the intermediates are just as competitive, if not more competitive, than the seniors at most shows I'm at, and that's no different here. You know, in my mind, there's probably two individuals that really sort themselves to the top and stand out, and I'll just tell you, it's the two young ladies directly in front of me here at the middle. I'll talk their differences and just kind of let you know what I'm thinking. The young lady out here to my right, she does a really good job with bracing that lamb, especially when I lay my hands on him. There is never a moment that I question if he is or he isn't bracing, and I really appreciate that about her. And she's also super quick and super efficient with any sort of transitions, getting off to the other side of her weather, and I really appreciate that. Like I said in class, sometimes his head and neck wants to get a little bit lazy on the move, and making sure you keep that at a 90-degree angle. Even right now, it's just rocked forward just a little bit. But you do a really good job of being ring aware, and you're super, super intense. And the young lady that's here to my left, you know, there's no difference in her intensity and her drive out here, and I think you do an awesome job controlling the head and neck angle of that weather. I think he looks really, really good the way you have him. And every now and then maybe you want to get his front feet stretched just a little too far forward for my liking, but I think when you're on the move, you handle his head and neck so well, and you're so ring aware and so intense. You know, honestly, for me, it's probably just little nitpicky details. And one thing between the two of you that I really noticed and stuck out to me that separates the two of you, one of you really took time, and you'd look at your animal, you'd look at me, and you'd look at the person in front of you to make sure you had enough space and enough distance. And that's something I look for, especially when it gets close. So the young lady that did that is the one directly in front of me. You'll be division champion.
Intermediate champion showman is Miss Jaden Mantua. Reserve intermediate champion showman is Addison Ridgely. Congratulations to our intermediate showman. We will now move on to our junior division with class 15, 10-year-old juniors. You may come on into the ring. And class 16, 9-year-old juniors may come to ringside. Class 16, 9-year-olds to ringside.
Just a single entry out here with the young lady, but she certainly has a ewe who maybe doesn't like to be a show ewe quite as much, but she does a very good job of maintaining her poise and being calm even when she's being a little feisty. And I think for the situation, you do a really nice job of controlling your ewe and making sure she doesn't get away, even when she does some acrobatics like she just did there. One thing I'd like to see going forward maybe is a little bit more eye contact. I know that's a little tough when she's trying to get away all the time, but very good job at keeping your ewe in check.
Now entering is class 16, 9-year-old juniors. Results for class 15, 10-year-olds. This award is sponsored by the Moore family. First place goes to Violet Bell. Now in the ring is class 16, 9-year-olds. If there are no 8-year-olds for class 17, then class 18, our first year 9 and 10-year-olds may come to ringside.
Class 18, first year, 9 and 10-year-olds to ringside.
The young lady that I'm going to use to start the class, I think, does a really good job maintaining eye contact and knowing where I'm at in the ring. And I can tell you've worked with your weather at home, because pretty much all the time, as soon as you put your leg on him, he automatically sets up into place, which I do appreciate. In showmanship, I'm okay if you reach down and touch the legs, though, too. Like right now, that one back leg's a little out of place. So if you'd reach down and fix that, that's something I'd like to see. Another little thing that you can work on, when I get out in front of you, if you get off your lamb's head, and so I can get a good chest view, that's something I like to see. You always switch sides, which was really good, but just pulling your body off of the head, something to work for next year, but very good job at, with your eye contact and getting your lamb set up. The young lady that's going to be second, you know, it's cool to have royalty here in the show. I didn't know I was getting to judge royalty today, so that's really neat. But she does a really nice job with the lamb, who definitely is not the most cooperative. I really appreciate how you remain so calm and collected, even when your ewe wants to get a little bit feisty and is trying to go a little bit quicker than you want her to. A couple things for you, just making sure that you keep her back down. She wants to get a little roachy in her top at times, so just reaching down and touching her back. But I really appreciated the way you got off the front of your ewe when I walked in front of her. That was very good. Congratulations to both of you.
As far as we know, there are no 8-year-olds this year. So now entering the ring will be class 18, first year 9 and 10-year-old juniors. Results for class 16, 9-year-olds. This award is sponsored by the Howard County 4-H Beef Club. First place goes to Aniston Todd. Second place, Cora Brendel. Now entering the ring is class 18, first year juniors. Following this, we need all of our first and second place junior class winners for the selection of our junior champions.
Well, the young man told me his lamb's name is Shorty, and I said he needs to change it to Feisty because he's being a little cantankerous out here. But I think he does a really nice job remaining calm and cool, even when his weather maybe doesn't want to be quite as cool as him. You know, I appreciated how you switched sides when I came around the other side, but just always make sure that that lamb's in between the two of us. And you know, obviously it's probably pretty hard to set his feet, but even reaching down and touching a front foot every now and then, just to bring it back into its original position would be good. But very good job with eye contact and hanging on to a pretty cantankerous lamb. Good job.
Results for class 18, first year 9 and 10-year-olds. This award is sponsored by West Friendship 4-H Club. First place, Michael Velasek, AKA Grayson, right? Right? See, I remembered after I said it, but maybe tomorrow. Now we need all of our first and second place junior class winners for our selection of the junior champions. Following this, we will need our senior and intermediate champion showmen to come into the ring for the selection of our overall grand champion showman.
the lighter division, but congratulations to all the juniors out here. You guys have all done a really great job, and I know it's, you know, the beginning of your show careers, but I think you all have a lot of potential, and I really hope you continue to love showing sheep and grow in your showmanship skills, because it's truly an awesome thing. I'll just talk each of the class winners here for a minute and kind of let you know what I'm thinking. The young lady out of the oldest class, her you doesn't necessarily always want to cooperate with her. But you do a very nice job of remaining calm and remaining collected. Right now, something I'd see, since you're facing me directly, get off the front of that you. Let me see her chest floor. But when she does stop and when she does allow you to touch her legs, you do a very nice job getting her set up. The young lady out of the second class, you know, that's when I said in class that she definitely spent a lot of time at home and worked with her weather a lot, because he pretty much walks right into place and will brace into place for her, which is awesome. Right now, his one front leg probably needs to come up a little bit, so just reach down and make sure you're aware of that, because sometimes he wants to do that, and every now and then he wants to get a little roachy in his top. But you do a really good job of remaining, having really good eye contact, knowing where I'm at in the ring, and always switching sides, and I appreciate your intensity. And the young the young man with the weather out here that I'm now naming Feisty, you know, I really appreciate, even though his weather's giving him a hard time, you know, you never once stopped showing, and you always kept your game face on, and I really appreciate that. Because sometimes that'll happen, your partner won't want to cooperate, but if you can have the mindset and mentality to keep going regardless of what obstacles are in your way, that'll take you really far in life, so keep that up. You know, for me, I think it comes down to one individual, and that's going to be the young lady out of the second class. She'll be the champion in division. Congratulations.
Junior champion showman is Miss Aniston Todd.
As I bring the young lady out of that same class, you know, in her class, her you was wanting to be a little bit more cantankerous and a little bit more agitated, but I think she's really settled in out here, and she's doing a very nice job getting her you shown. You know, every now and then she'll want to get her head down a little bit and, you know, maybe try to keep her head at a really good 90-degree angle. But I think you do a very good job of eye contact and remaining calm and collected, even when your lamb maybe doesn't want to cooperate. So you're going to be the reserve in the division. Congratulations.
Reserve, let me try that again. Reserve junior champion showman is Miss Cora Brendel. Now in the ring, we will have all of our division champions for the selection of our overall grand champion showman. From our senior division is Kylie Bingham. Our intermediate division, Jaden Mantua. And our junior division, Aniston Todd. Following the selection of our grand champion showman, we're gonna have some fun. Caitlin, I don't know if you know about this yet, girl, but anyone who has won grand champion showman at the Howard County Fair any other year besides 2022 and 2020 because canceled, go get a lamb and get ready for the showdown. I will call you out. So if you have won, you better go find a lamb and come to the ringside. Okay? Thanks. Mackenzie Ridgely, go get a lamb. I think there's at least one Spicer. Oh, there's two Spicers. We don't care how old you are. Jason. Mary Mim, is that you? Did you ever win? Don't hide. Where's, Grant Hill, where's he? Tess, what about you? Yes, no? Is she lying? Tommy Monix over here has. Mary, girl, come on. We even have an award sponsored by Monix Bus Service. You can write a thank you note. Ziggy? Where's Ziggy? Ziggy, I bet if we win, your dad will take us to Pizza Hut. It's only been like 35 years that we were owed that. Close enough, Ziggy. I'll let it slide. Sean, what about you? Not good enough? It's okay. Rachel, yes, no? Yes? Oh, I see that's a yes. All right, I'll stop now, Caitlin. Let's be serious.
All right, well, I'm excited for this now. I didn't know that was coming. So everyone who won better come out here because this is going to be fun. You know, out here for the championship lineup, I think all three young ladies do a very, very good job. And I'm not really going to talk them. I tried to talk them the best that I could in their respective classes and divisions. But I do want to say a little something about showmanship. I've done livestock judging since I was 11 years old, and I loved it, and I think it's an awesome program. And I think to be a truly great showman, you have to be a very good evaluator of your livestock and know what their flaws are, because there's not a perfect animal, there never has been, and there never will be. And if there is, well, that makes this thing called showing livestock very boring, because then they're all going to look the same. But for me, if you're going to be anyone can show a good animal, but to be a great showman and make a good animal great, you really have to know that animal's flaws and how to best mitigate those. And I think all three young ladies out here do a good job at that, but especially in my mind, two of them out of these older two divisions. And I've sat here and I've thought about it, and you know, I've debated between the two of them. And in my mind, it's just little nitpicky things really between the two of them. And honestly, you could probably go either way. But the young lady that's probably a little bit more of my style and what I like to see is the young lady out of the intermediate. Congratulations.
Our 2022 Grand Champion Sheep Showman, or Showwoman, is Miss Jaden Mantua. Her awards are sponsored by Jamie Bullock and Mr. and Mrs. Rick Hodiak. All right, get a lamb and get your buns in the show ring.